All right, hey everybody, Jason Samko here, and today we're talking about, we're at a Chevy dealer here down in Jacksonville, and they have got a huge variety of Bisons and ZR2s here. Now, the only thing they don't have is a 2500 version, but they got so many of these. Take a look at this right here. That's the Bison Edition Silverado Z7 or ZR2 Bison Edition, or this is a ZR2 AEV Edition here and a Bison setup. If you're looking at the Canyons, they call it an AEV Edition. Here they call it the Bison. But this is the 1500 series, but they got a lot of these. We're going to kind of walk around a few of them and check, but what a sweet looking truck, especially when you get over to the Colorados, which is where this really shines. In here, what are we looking at on this dude? 83 grand, and that's really not that bad of a price considering too. Keep in mind, this is the only production full-size truck. The only full-size truck in production is this. Hang on, let me wipe this. Is the Chevy version of the ZR2 or the ZR2 Bison, which includes the AEV bumpers on the Bison Edition. You're getting AEV bumpers, you're getting some suspension upgrades that are in here on this thing as well too with this, and you got the rock rails straight from the factory, and you get the rear bumper, the AEV bumper. You get some cool little features in here with the Bison Edition package on the 1500 Borean skid plates, but the ZR2 made by Chevy and the AEV or the AT4X made by GMC or whatever GMC calls their full size. I don't mess with full size much, but those are the only ones you can get with true front and rear lockers. Here's another one right here. Now here is a ZR2 right here next to a ZR2 Bison. Okay, so here's your differences. Look at the approach angle on these two vehicles. Okay, because of the skid plate setup on there. Look at a high-rise steel bumper on the AEV one over on this side. You can see the differences here, the slight differences. Okay, but this AEV bumper setup being all steel bumper, very nice. Built-in tow recovery or recovery points here. Beefy bumper on the front. This one's got your tow recovery points too, but metal bumper here. You got plastic everywhere else on here too, just like that. But notice how far out this bumper sticks to knock brush out of the way versus this one. Okay, some big differences on there. Here again, we got rock rails. Here we got side steps. You know, both of these are amazing trucks. You can't argue with either one of them. Steel bumper on the back with recovery points. Steel bumper back here. I think this is steel too, right? Nope, but it's plastic bumper, but this is steel bumper back here with recovery points built in. This one is just a hitch system on there. So you get some differences in here, but when you look again at price of these two, the Bison package jumps it up. Again, we are at 83 for this one, and that Bison package is basically $8,500 package added onto this. So, and when we look at the standard ZR2, which is probably the one I would personally buy, and then I can put my own bumpers on if I wanted to, but I'm curious as to what the difference is. $76,000 because we don't have that package in there. Now you can look inside and see here too. Now when you look in the Bison, you're going to see some upgrades in here. I believe, again, I don't know on the full size. Again, this is not a element yeah, here we go, right here on that Bison Edition full size. Can see some of the differences in there. Okay, I do not like the electric shifter. I cannot get used to the electric shifter, and it is in both of them. Okay, they both have the electric shifter. Now this is not open today, it's Sunday, so they're not available for me to get keys to any of these to show you the inside stuff. But you can see, look at them all. Here's one with a Duramax in it too, a ZR2 Duramax diesel AEV edition, Bison, or the Bison edition. What are they pricing this thing out for? Beautiful, beautiful truck here. What's this one coming in at? 93, I think that says. I can't see. Is that 93? No, 83. Sorry. 83 right there. And like I said, but what a truck, man. What a gorgeous, gorgeous truck. Very well done. But they do have over there Colorado Bison's edition. ZR2s we're getting there, but here's another ZR2 AEV Bison edition right there. Here's another AEV Bison edition right there. And here's another Duramax ZR2 Bison edition right there. I mean, these guys have got it going on here. This dealership is not playing around. Yep, and if we look over here, Duramax ZR, we got a ZR2 Bison edition Duramax one. We got a Duramax AEV Bison edition. We got a ZR2 non-Duramax one right there with the 6.2 in it. We got them all right here, but now we're getting into the to the 2500s, and I wish we had a 2500 AEV here that I could show you. I didn't see any when I drove through So we don't, see, we got a, oh, wait. That's the 2500 right there, the AEV edition. We got one sitting right here. We got one right here, tucked in. I didn't even see it. I could, you know, I did not even see it. I could not drive down this road. I could drive down that one, and I was kind of looking. They're closed, so I couldn't see anything. But look at that right there. Here we go. Now we got the trifecta. Here it is, right here, the 2500 AEV edition. Now the downside to this truck is they are not doing some of the things that matter here, that make it that it's a great truck. Don't get me wrong, but we do not get front lockers in this one. Okay, we get front lockers in this one, okay, in the ZR2 and the ZR2 AEV, which we have, again, more of them right here. They got tons of these here. But here we're getting the front lockers, okay, in the 1500 series. 2500 series does not get the front locker. Now, also, I want to show you something to notice in here. When we come around back of a Bison, this is a Bison here too. ZR2, doesn't matter which one, whether it's Bison or ZR2, okay. See what we got going on under here? There you go. You can kind of see that setup under there. Nice wheel and a good matching wheel, which is pretty sweet. All right. See how this uses that high clearance tucked in bumper, or I mean exhaust? So it's tucked in and it's not going to jam or break on anything. It's tucked up in there really nice and hidden and out of the way. I do not like that the shocks are outside of, or they should be between the leaf spring and the tire, like they are on a lot of vehicles, but that's still not horrible. At least they're swung out a little bit, but they're still not like they should be, like on a ZR2, which I'll show you. See how that's a bummer, where those shocks are going to snag on stumps and stuff? That kind of sucks, but that's, you know, Chevy does that in the full size. Now, when we come over and we look at the 2500 version of this truck, we're going to notice the same kind of things, but also because of the fact that this is going to be a diesel, you can tell a diesel by the exhaust. Look at how high or how big that exhaust is, and look at where that exhaust is at if you were to, you know, if you were going to drag this on anything, or take the, when your departure angle comes down, you're going to beat that exhaust up. That exhaust should have been done like the 1500 on this Bison edition and tucked up in and curled down to protect that, because that's the first thing that's going to get wrecked on either one of these, any of these vehicles. That big exhaust has to be taken care of. But notice here, we still got that same shock issue. Okay, that shocks are in a bad place comparatively. Now, I'm not saying it's horrible, but I'm saying they could have done better. But here, on a 2500 AEV bumper on there, nice setup on this. You got your recovery points on here, the AEV badging. Love this, you got 12 tie downs in the back of this thing. 12 tie downs. Chevy does it right. That's not a Bison issue. It's with all the HD Chevy trucks. Beautifully set up. But look at the height difference in this. Look at the height difference between these two trucks, between the High Country and this. But not only the roof, you really see it in the wheel wells. Okay, look at the wheel fender flares. Okay, look at this, the bed steps in front of the rear tires. You can see the height difference in this trucks between these two. Massive difference, okay? Just incredible trucks for sure. And they've done this one right. A lot of backside space. The only downside, the only thing they missed on here was not doing the rear locker. Sorry, we're fighting windows here. Let's try this one. Here we go. The only thing they did not do right is we do not have a front locker in this, but it does have independent front suspension, okay? This is not a solid front axle vehicle. Being an IFS vehicle with the AEV bumper on the front, we got the light up grille insert there, but with this being IFS and not solid front axle like a Ford or a Ram heavy duty, you're gonna get a lot better street ride with this. So that's a lot of nice features as far as on-road comfort. But I wish they would have put the front locker in. If they put the front locker in this thing, it would be an absolute beast of a truck. You got a Allison Duramax diesel in this, and all that weight is sitting right here. And not having that, not having the actual weight of that engine being maxed out with having front lockers on here is a bummer. You got DSSV Multimatics in there. Like I said, the same things the standard ZR2s have on it. Again, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful truck. Just a gorgeous truck. What's the price on this one here? Where are we coming in at? $95,000. Woo, not cheap. 95 grand for this. It's a $100,000 truck. Expensive, but very, very nice. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful setup on here. But now the Colorado takes it to a whole different level when they get into their ZR2s and their Bison edition, because of the fact that they are going to offer things that neither one of these do. Now, again, with the ZR2 full size of 1500, Front lockers are added in. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. 2500, you do not get the front lockers. Both of them still amazing trucks. But when we walk down here to the Bison edition, you know, this dealer's got a lot of high-end trucks on here. There's, you know, serious off-road trucks. They're doing it so well here. I mean, I'm very, very impressed with this dealership. And they got a lot of really nice colors too. Like here, look at this Trail Boss. I love this color, this ruby red or whatever this color of this Trail Boss is. Love this color. What is it? What do they call this color? Radiant red tin coat is what it's called right here. 40,000 bucks. What a beautiful truck for 40 grand. I don't think there's a better buy in mid-size trucks available today, in my opinion, than a Trail Boss. I think it's the best truck out there, in my opinion. Here's a Silverado AEV. Again, another one of 1,500. Now here's where we're getting into the Z71 Colorado. Okay, we got a Trail Boss. We look at this here too. Low tie downs, all four corners. Love that. Okay, same thing here on this Trail Boss, low tie downs, all four corners. Trail Boss edition, beautiful truck. Here's a Bison. So let's look at the side-by-side comparison. Here's an LT work truck. Here's a Bison compared to a Trail Boss. So you can see them right there. I mean, all three of these, and there's a ZR2 if we want to get technical. So here you go. I mean, and there's a Z71. So if we look at this, ZR2, LT work truck, AEV Bison edition Colorado, Trail Boss, Z71. So you can really see the differences here. You can see the Trail Boss is taller than the Z71, sits up higher. You can see that right in here. So it kind of comes into perspective. You can see what a monster the ZR2 is over the Trail Boss. Okay, and that's the Bison edition with the wider fender flares. Okay, but a ZR2 and a Bison are basically the same truck as far as height-wise, things like that, this one versus that one. But let's take a look at a Bison before we get, let's take a look at a ZR2 first, okay? We know this truck inside and out, okay? Now, we don't get the steel fancy, you know, the good AEV bumpers on here, but again, now look at where they put the shocks on the ZR2. See how they are tucked right up to that wheel? All that room for clearance underneath. It doesn't get better than that. That is pure, beautiful brilliance and a super clean setup there, where when we come over here to the LT, or even past in the LT, it's the same thing. But when we go to the Z71, okay, anything other than, even a Trail Boss, we go to the Trail Boss. Here's the Trail Boss. All of them are the same except the ZR2, they're all like this. See how that shock is now out here in the middle, but notice the shocks are up higher on this than they are on the Silverado, so they're still tucked in good. Okay, so they're not as big of a problem, but they are out, or they're not outbound of the, you know, between the tire and the leaf spring like they are when we come over here and we look at this Bison edition here. Hey, look how beautiful that is. Now notice under here, what are we missing? A spare tire. No spare tire under there, because you can only fit a 34-inch spare tire under there. This truck comes with 35s from the factory. So they put the spare tire back here on its own mount because they cannot fit it underneath the bed. Where here on the ZR2, which comes with 33s, okay, this thing has 33-inch tires on it. Love this truck. This is one that I'm considering buying. But here with the 33s, they can fit it right here underneath and get it tucked in there. They cannot fit a 35, anything bigger than a 34 in this actual space. So the Bison edition has to have it there. But the ZR2 does give you the rock rails. Okay, I've done many videos on this. Okay, you got the Multimatic DSSV shocks, you got the whole setup in here. Price-wise, we're coming in for this one at 52,000 bucks for this one. So sticker if you want to see. Beautiful truck. We'll go over and take a look at the Bison here in 1 second. What a gorgeous truck. God, I love this thing. I really do. Look at that. Pure perfection. Again, they're closed. I can't get the keys for any of these. Otherwise, I'd show you, show you some of these comparisons. But I've already done videos on every one of these. So I'll link the videos at the end for you. But I've done videos on every single one of these. Okay, setup on here. Just perfect. Now when we come over to the AEV edition, the Bison, notice we got a high clearance AEV bumper. Here we got the standard plastic bumper here. Okay. Okay, and then we got our skid plate right there. This one here, we got a Boreon steel skid plate, and we got the metal AEV bumper. Love that setup. Okay, love that setup. And with this one, we got those special skid plates. Sorry, I'm fighting a curb here. So beautiful, beautiful setup on this Bison edition. Now, you got same rock rails on each. What's this one coming in at? 62, so basically 10 grand more. Okay, beautiful truck, no doubt about it. Love the 35s that are on here, absolutely love the 35s. Now, what I would do different if I owned this truck, if I bought this one, or if I didn't buy that one and I bought this one and was gonna put 35s on it, instead of having this tire mounted like this, what I would do instead is I would take this and I would set up, I'd put a tonneau cover on here, and I would run, you know, a roll up one, and I would run those higher crossbars, 2 crossbars, and I would mount that tire horizontal right up here. That way I still get full access to my bed and I can close it off. That's what I would do. And then what I would probably do is take this spot underneath here that we have under here, and I would probably have some stuff welded up to those cross frames, and I would probably put a winch on it that comes right through here. So if I do get stuck, I got a hidden winch that comes out of the back. That's how I would set it up. But beautiful trucks. Now, let's take a quick peek at this LT. Simple truck. Now remember, with these, depending on how you get it, let's take a look and see if this one has it or not. Where is my owner? Where is it? Right here. Aluminum capitalist all season. Doesn't say on this one. Did they do it? Okay, if you don't get a Z71 or a Trail Boss edition, you do not get 4 low range, okay? You can see right inside of here. So you got to take that into consideration. Okay, if you don't get a Z71 or a Trail Boss, you do not get the low range, you do not get the low range functionality in here. There's that Z71. Beautiful setup. Gorgeous trucks. These are all absolutely gorgeous trucks, but I love how this dealer's got all of them. We got all 3 Kings from Chevy here, but this Bison, whew, dog, look at that right there. That is one serious, serious truck on every kind of level. So hope you enjoyed this little walk around the dealership of these Titans, the AEV editions. I still believe that this right here, the Trail Boss, I believe this is the best buy Chevy truck there is today, is this one right here. I think that is the steal of the deal. Truck wise, for what you get, what most people are going to do with it. It's my favorite as far as dollar per truck value. This ZR2 right here would be the one I would buy if I was buying a Chevy Colorado. This would be the one that fits my needs with the front and rear lockers on it. I would take this, I would put 34s on it, stuff a 34 up underneath that dude, call it good. Or like I said, I might even take this and put 35s on it. See these fender flares? Now notice how they're a little bit different from these fender flares. Look at these again. Look at the bigger size and how this fender flare is set up and how far it kind of sticks off of the truck. Now come back over here to the ZR2. Notice the difference, okay, right here. Now the ZR2 has 33, so it can use these fender flares. This one having 35s needs these new style fender flares and a little more wheel offset. But I could take and put 35s with this wheel offset and those fender flares on this truck for a pretty low amount, or possibly even just do some trim work on these fender flares, but it would not be that hard to put 35s on this truck. But if I did 34s, I don't have to mount the spare high. If I did 35s, that spare tire would have to be mounted horizontal. Right here is how I would do mine. So, all right, hope you enjoyed this little walk around of this the stuff here at this dealership. They got some amazing things. Thanks for watching.